Firstly, thank you for clicking in to the Royal's Apprentice. This is a 7-part series written by BlueChanXD. So sit back, relax, and listen. Come in. Yes. Have you completed her processing? Shouldn't you have had that sorted out before you came in? We sent out the request for lease termination 4 weeks ago. Well, then get whoever is responsible for it and have it done now. No, I'm not going to have you waste any more of my time. We already have her quarters set up, and the itinerary is scheduled. She is not going back. So have the business cleared and discuss leasing with the head of the market square. Yes, today. Good. Now leave her and the documents. You are dismissed. All right, let's see. We have proof of residency, commercial lease, physician's assessment, and you. You demonstrated your magic to the physician, correct? And you were born with wind magic, yes? And as far as we can see, no difficulty breathing unrelated to colds or the sands throughout your life, correct? What about your family? The physician didn't specify in her notes, and the cause of death does not specify any related illnesses. Interesting. Have you not been witness to magical disorders before? Our census tells it's fairly common amongst the public. Of course. Maybe you've heard it as a result of witchcraft. A dark mage wrongs a witch, then casts down a spell onto their family, and their child is born without eyes. And for you, wind mages, they breathe so shallowly, as the wind refuses to take refuge in their lungs. Yes. That old wives' tale, or some such nonsense, has no place in academia. You'll come to learn about the consequence of having dirty blood soon enough. But for now, all that matters is that you are in good health and you can use your wind magic appropriately. Everything else looks to be cleared, but your business lease should have already been terminated before you came in. Did they not inform you weeks in advance before you were scheduled to start the new position? Well, there are no concerns of being paid by the day or by commission. Palace staff are granted room and board and other amenities so long as they work. You are considered staff by technicality, because you are willing to work under me, even if it is as a student. Yes. You were chosen to be my apprentice in magic. So, you will be taught how to utilize wind for the protection of the royal family. Shocked, What's so shocking about that? There's no need for merchants in the palace. What did you expect whenever you applied to work here? Mercantile and custodial duties do not require the use of wind magic. We have other magics for that. Yes. You were chosen specifically because you are a wind mage. Then be grateful you share the same magical affinity as those of royal blood. There's always a need for more of our kind to keep the sandstorms at bay. Excuse me. You would do well to watch your tongue. Don't forget that you serve me. We are not in the same position. You stand before one of royal blood, not some lowly court mage. Get up. You don't need to prostrate yourself as an apology. I will be lenient this time around. But do not make any more assumptions from now on. Yes, it's only natural you weren't aware of me. I don't attend festivities or court, and there are no celebrations in my name. All that concerns you is that you serve me personally now. Regardless of standings, I am of royal blood, and you will treat me as such. Understood. Good. Now, we need to discuss your schedule. Each day, you will be served breakfast in your assigned room. No, disregard what any staff has told you. The communal dining hall is not for apprentices in magic. You will eat in your room alone. Is that clear? Good. Next, you will be given until dawn to finish your meal. You will then be escorted to the study room for your lessons, and once you have completed your lessons for the day, you will return to your designated living quarters. You will be served a meal, and once you are done, you are free to utilize your personal study room and any of the areas in your quarters. You will then be served your dinner, and an escort will take you to a private bathing room. Once you are done, you will return to your room to sleep. The next day, you will do the same, so on and so forth. Understood? Your schedule will be set unless I state otherwise. Look, all that is expected of you is to follow the schedule as provided to you. All of your needs will be taken care of otherwise. Your designated staff will provide you with any amenities that you may require, and your quarters will be supplied with several means of entertaining yourself if you so desire. If you require anything else, you will submit your request directly to me for approval. Well, as your employer, it is my job to approve of anything you ask for, regardless. It is more efficient to hear a request directly from the source. There's no need to play games of he said or she said, so we cut out the middleman. Incomplete information only leads to more unnecessary work. And if there's one thing I hate more than anything else, it is having my time wasted. Yes. You may inform the staff within the vicinity of your quarters of any needs that you may have. They will then bring you to me. Do not go wandering off on your own. You must always be accompanied by an escort if you are needing to leave the area for any reason. There are no exceptions. Understood, then? Good. Now that you're aware of your schedule, we will have the seamstress finalize any adjustments for your uniforms. She will go over the procedures of how to dress and where to place them at the end of the day for the launderer. You are expected to wear them at all times, unless you are in your quarters in the bath. Staff will not permit you to leave without them otherwise. Now, that should cover everything. If you have any questions, ask them now. Otherwise, save them for whenever we meet for your lessons. No, there are no incorrect questions, only limited answers. Well, you are a student, and you are here to learn. So, I will permit questions that help you understand what is expected of you. But you must accept that there are certain things you are not meant to know. Yes, forbidden knowledge can be a dangerous tool. Insider secrets, black market trade, extra-martial affairs, impostors seeking to claim the throne, lies and deceit. They can cut down a regime in an instant. For those are issues left to those in power. The public need not concern themselves with something so delicate. You will know. You will know if it's something you aren't meant to know if you don't get an answer. That being said, what are your questions? You are allowed to attend festivals, but you must always be accompanied by an escort. If you choose not to attend, you have the right or choice between staying in your quarters for the day or joining me for extra lessons. No, I made it clear to you before that I do not attend festivals. I will remain in my office and do work as I always do, away from the public. Why? Because there is no Princess Xena to this kingdom. That is why. Is that all? Very good. Then join your escort and make sure everything is prepared for tomorrow. Your lessons will start then. Are you ready? Was there a problem? The seamstress should have gone over how to dress yourself. Yes, you are allowed to ask staff for help. That is what they are for. The bulk is necessary for your training. As you become more adept with magic, the easier it will be to maneuver through harsher conditions. It will feel much less bulky if you can naturally lift the weight using the wind. But until then, there will be some discomfort. Well, I wouldn't be so cruel as to put you through needless discomfort, would I? The weight has a purpose. Having you pass out in the heat does not. So any training clothes you wear have already been infused with ice magic. I need you to pay attention during your lessons. The sandstorms do not quell themselves, and one more day with a few hands to hold them back affects the well-being of the entire kingdom. So it is important to you that you are provided with the optimal setting for learning. Yes. So know that we will have everything you need to be successful. Understood? Here's your first lesson for today. You have resources available to you to make sure you are prepared on time. Use them. Now, will there be any issues tomorrow then? Excellent. No, there's nothing to feel guilt over. This is just a learning experience like any other. But know that I expect for any mistakes to be taken care of so that we don't see them happen again. Now, for your daily lessons. Come this way. Now, before we begin, how much education have you received up until now? Regardless, I assume you can read and do basic mathematics based on your previous line of work, correct? That should be sufficient. But we can determine if you will be needing any supplemental education in addition to the required lessons. Naturally, I will be the one in charge of them. There are no private tutors in this palace that have as much experience with the art as I do. It would be an even greater waste of my time if I went through standard lessons at the scheduled pace with you falling behind. If you are not grasping a concept well enough, I will spend extra time with you that day. That means, however, cutting into your leisure time. But your studies come first. So, today we will cover magic categories and some of the interactions they hold. Then we will work on applications of wind magic with some basic training exercises. Once you have basic control, then we can work on refinement. Yes. I'm sure we would all like to believe that as much of our basic understanding of magic is common knowledge, but unfortunately, that seems ever so often to not be the case. You see, there's a reason why the palace is in a constant state of hiring. Competence can be quite hard to come by. It's why I've decided to take matters into my own hands. And with that, now you stand before me. You see, you are the first and only apprentice I've taken on. Our usual hires go through a separate application process. The very position you hold is typically competitive and requires certification through the Royal Academy. Oh. Yes. His Majesty the King would sooner commit to a life of celibacy than hand a single prize student of his precious academy over to me. Better to ruin the future prospects of a commoner than to waste the coffers of nobility. You see, nobles want esteemed tutors who have made a name for themselves with their brats. Those who do have a good reputation are those endorsed by His very Majesty. And, well, when you don't exist to him, you don't exist to nobility. Yes, His Majesty may very well be aware of you, but that does not mean he will acknowledge you. No. Some things could go without being acknowledged. But when His Majesty wishes to bring your attention to something, it will be paraded in front of you, whether you like it or not. And he will make it very clear that it is reserved only for him. Unfortunately for him, though, I take zero interest in those whose existence is entirely revolving around acting as decor until they're needed to warm a bed for a few hours. Honestly, the gift of wind magic is wasted on them. Yes, more chances at having wind mages added to the family, or at least that's the excuse he likes to give. Either way, keep your eyes straight ahead. There's no point in indulging His Majesty's fragile ego. As for these other mages, be grateful that your robes actually function as clothing should. Seeing the rest of them, maybe those 5 or so loose threads they call robes have been drenched in more than just sweat, if that makes them less appealing to you. You see, any ideas of wearing anything remotely similar should be left to your imagination. You are not meant to be gawked at. Now, take this as your second lesson. Learn to look away every time we pass through these halls to get to the study. Yes. Now, look ahead. It won't be long for the room is close by. After you. One less distraction. All right, take a seat. First, we will go over the magic categories. How familiar are you with them? Yes, elemental magic is the most basic of all magic categories, hence its commonality. Wind is one of the several that exist, and it is vital for protecting the kingdom from sandstorms. Water mages keep the desert habitable and ensure our supply is purified and safe for drinking. Fire, well, it is versatile in the fact it's used for cooking, smithing, and keeping warm during the night. Ice, by contrast, is used to keep cooling during the day and preserving food. Earth magic is used for building and tilling the soil. Lightning generates the power for utilities. Light illuminates, providing a means for us seeing at night. And dark, the opposite, providing shade from the sun. All elements serve a purpose and act as the foundation for our civilization. Now, past the elemental, there are two other categories of magic that are much less commonly seen but are nonetheless important in the development of a society. The first is natural magic, which harnesses the power of the natural order. Animal mages are the primary hunter-gatherers. Only the best are able to provide high-quality meat to the palace. Time magics, on the other hand, can be used to slow or accelerate to extend a person's lifespan by ways of buying time, more or less, for medical help to arrive or speeding up the process of wound healing. Space magics, they focus more on travel. It makes it easier by creating connecting warp points, and lastly, cultivation can be used in conjunction with the elements to grow crops. Lastly, however, the most rare magic category is creation. They take nature's gifts and transform them. They are what elevate a society to its greatest potential. While music can be played or sung by anyone, the gift of music magic can allow the bearer to control the mind. It can be used to rally those around you or make others do your bidding. It can be dangerous if left in the wrong hands. Luckily, there aren't many natural users in existence. Machine magic is what provides us with our utilities. While we still need lightning for power, machine magic provides the basis of technological advancements. But unfortunately, due to its rarity, much of what we can accomplish with technology is still in its infancy. We only have 2 in our service at the moment, so progress has been relatively slow. The last of creation is apothecary magic, as it is the basis for medical care. They produce medicine much faster than your average medical practitioner, which is why many medical students will opt to learn apothecary magic during their studies at the academy. You are at a greater disadvantage without it, and the competition for positions within hospitals can be fierce. So, you either need to be born with the gift or dedicate your time to developing a second magic. With all of that in mind, any questions before I move on? I'll answer that question of my own. Why haven't you learned a second magic? Yes, exactly. If it were so simple, all magic would be commonplace. It could take years to develop the skills to use magic that we're not naturally gifted with. It is much easier to use what we have naturally and work around our limitations. Really? So you would say to have many children for that, Well, Tell that to someone who would rather spend their days in a workshop developing products that would make them enough money to set them up for life than go out socializing. Yes. Those who have wealth often have fewer children than those who do not. When you have resources you need to live, you have fewer incentives to want more children. And if you knew they'd live to adulthood, would you still want so many? Regardless, that's something to think about in the future. But for now, you are here to study. No, I don't expect you to learn a second magic. Our only focus is honing your natural affinity to wind. If you want to develop your own new magic, then do so in your own free time. Though I wouldn't recommend it until you've at least mastered wind. Correct. It's best to avoid any extra strain, as mastering one magic can take quite a bit of energy. And I'd rather you focus on what you have, on what is most important, what you are naturally born with. But if you feel you can handle working on 2 at a time, I won't stop you. Me? No. I personally have no need for other magic. Wind is what defines royal status. It's best to maintain that so that the needs of the kingdom are met appropriately. Now, any other questions? Yes. Any and all magic can be disordered. That is why we are careful when we go through our long list of applicants. Every position in the palace requires proficiency in magic. If you are unable to properly use it, well, then the task cannot be completed and our system falls apart. We discussed a few before, if you recall. For example, if you were born with disordered wind magic, you would have trouble breathing. And a light or dark mage may be born blind. Each magic has their own conditions associated with them if they are disordered. I suppose if a machine mage was disordered, they'd be very bad at math, but I've yet to see it myself. Now finally, are there any other questions before we move on? No. The only thing that you will be tested on is how well you can apply your magic to a real-life situation. But knowing what magic exists helps us to understand their function on their own. Once you understand how they interact, well, you can determine the best way to deal with any given situation. No. It is your job as a future protector of the kingdom to know how wind reacts with other magic. You have to be careful to not cause more harm than good. Wind can push the elements back, you see, but it can also spread them. A lack of control can turn rain into a whirlpool, or a flame of a candle into a forest fire. But before you can test interactions, you must first master wind in its purest form. We will begin with a simple wind flow and work our way up from there. Understood? Good. Now, watch carefully and repeat after me. There we go. Good. Keep the cold air stable, just like that. Now, slowly move the warm air up towards it. Yes. Keep going. Okay. Now, the updraft looks stable enough. Now, form a third current to the side. It is going to need greater strength than that. Increase the speed. No, do not let go of the other two. You need to maintain their directions. Okay. That looks stable. Now, increase the speed of the third and swipe quickly through the other two. It needs to be a little faster. It needs to have enough speed to change the first two's directions. As you pass it through, no, faster than that, try it again. No, fix the angle first. It needs to go right through the two. One more try. Right down the middle. See? Very good. Now, maintain it. Concentrate. Breathe and allow the air to circle through. Very good. And then let it calm. Disperse. Excellent. We will practice again tomorrow, but that is all I need for you to do today. Yes. At some point I might have you create a tornado on a larger scale, but it is best to understand the principles of how they work. For when we apply it to a dissipating dust devil, that involves elemental interactions. You still need to master your control over wind first. Yes. It will take some time, but we are on track with the schedule. So, I just ask that you have patience. It is up to you. If you would like to continue right now, then go ahead, but the demanding of regular lesson is done for the day. Yes. Castle staff will be treated to a feast later tonight in honor of the heir presumptive's birthday. So, best if you join in the festivities while the plaza is light. I can have your escort bring some dishes to your room so you don't miss out on any treats. Well, birthdays are no different than festivals. I abstain from all of them. 36 is a bit too old for coddling, and besides, he will be indulged plenty by the rest of the kingdom. He could do without the additional ego stroking. One ruler of that nature is already more than enough. Honestly, the nephew is taking after the king more than the son would be especially ironic. Though I'm happy to count my blessings that have been spared of his more detestable trait. He's more than well aware of what I think of him. There's no point in keeping those thoughts to myself. Why? When you are in my position, you have the luxury of honesty. But in your case, I would hold my tongue, because any rats can hear you through the walls. Yes. Well, when you've lived under the same roof as the man, your entire life, the face he puts on for public becomes more sour. There's nothing pleasant about him. His looks are more of a curse than a blessing. The longer he maintains his youth, the more pathetic he'll look whenever he succumbs to his ailments. I may feel some sort of satisfaction when that day finally comes, but in the end it changes nothing. My position stays the same as it always has. I would have been first in line, but unfortunately, birthright means little compared to favoritism. Yes, His Highness has his own views of perfection. In this case, it's his prized nephew. His Highness's views on perfection are quite narrow. Anything he deems to be a flaw tends to be beyond the control of any human being. He fancies himself a god of sorts. But the irony is, he has no control over his own mortality. Naturally, his belongings go to the next in line when he dies. If he were to divide them equally between everyone and every one of his children, each would get a single utensil to their name. Yes. Willing everything to his nephew will be his final parting gift to me as a reminder of what I cannot have. But he fails to understand that there are things you can only have when you aren't the face of perfection. Unless you wish to permanently taint that image. You see, the heir presumptive must play his part and do what is expected of him. He will take the throne, tend to every problem his people have regardless of what it is, suck up to all the members of the court and international liaisons, attend every festival in his name, marry some bumbling noblewoman whose only worth outside of her family's coin is her blood, and churn out children until they get the perfect little wind mage to carry out their family legacy. Just like a perfect little queen. There's always a blessing within the curse of imperfection, you see. When you are flawed, no one bats an eye at any other flaws that crop up. One mistake is equivalent to 100. No, make no mistake. I have made none over the course of your time here. Unless you disagree. If so, please, share your thoughts. Oh, it isn't out of turn if I allow you to do so. Well, you understand I can order you to be honest if I need to. As someone who was raised among dishonesty, I will have no trouble determining whether you are or are not. No. There are no punishments for honesty here. You are free to speak your mind. For this, at least. Don't forget, I don't exist. No need to hold your tongue about someone who doesn't represent the image of the royal family. That is the beauty of this arrangement. You are to respect me as you would any other of royal blood. But we have much more flexibility in what we are able to discuss with each other. I don't have to keep up appearances as long as I stay within these walls. Yes. Now, you can respect me by giving me a proper answer to my question. So, what are your thoughts? Have there been any noticeable blunders that I have committed? Oh. Speaking ill of the undertakings of the highest position is no mistake on my part. It is intentional, calculated. Yes? Yeah? There are more ears in this palace than those of the Highness and their heir presumptive. Not all of what is said here is meant solely for their ears. Why? Is it especially important for you to hear? Who else am I to complain about my woes with, One thing I don't have as much luxury in is hand-picking my staff. And most of the ones I've chosen myself would benefit from not being kept from doing their work. Else time would be wasted. But you are in a unique position where that is not the case right now. Well, your job description is to serve me in any way I see fit. If I require someone to listen to me vent my frustrations and console me once I'm finished, then that is what you will do. I will decide if that is necessary or not. But fortunately, you shouldn't expect too much of that. Needing to be coddled is one thing that I am grateful to not have inherited. But for now, you only need to listen, which you have done well with so far, and that is all I require from you today. Yes. You are more than welcome to take part of the festivities now. Your escort will bring you back to your room before the plaza becomes too crowded. And have a list prepared of the treats you want for tonight, so she can get them for you. You won't miss out on anything. So, please, enjoy yourself. You have earned it. Now, you are always welcome to more lessons, but it's up to you whether you want to continue today or not. Give it some thought, and I will be here if you need me. Are you dressed? It doesn't matter whether it's your training clothes or not, just as you're covered. Then open the door. I need to speak with you. Well, hold off on changing. We won't be going to the study room for now. No, there's no need for apologies. I'm not here to scold you. Not today. Now, when was the last time you had something to eat? Well, that won't do. I'll have the staff remake your breakfast then. Do you have any preferences for today, or would you care for your usual meal? Mind you, it will be more today to make up for your dinner last night. So, best choose something that you enjoy. All right. I will see that it is made then. One moment. Yes, add extra fruit as well. You have my usual tea delivered with it. Good. On with you. There. Your breakfast should be here shortly. Now, well, it is in my best interest that you remain healthy. If you do not eat, you will become prone to illness. It would be customary to say that good food chases away evil spirits. So, for your understanding, let us say that it may also ward them off before they come. Yes. It may not have much basis in academia, but this is not the time to discuss the workings of the human body. Even in your best health, I am not here to teach you medicine. We have other mages for that. Yes. Regardless, it will do you well to eat, and I will make sure that we do that before we proceed with any lessons, if you so desire. Your time lost will be made up, whether it be today, tomorrow, or any other day that you are feeling well. Rest assured, we will go back and get on track once again. Well, I need your mind to be clear of any negativity. If your thoughts are elsewhere, you cannot learn properly. I figured you would have understood that by now. Reassurance. I can provide some reassurance if that's what you need. It may put you more at ease, as it does some. Look, I am well aware of what transpired while you were out at the festival. Your escort has already provided a statement on the matter. No. Any comments made by one of the highnesses, bed warmers, should never be taken to heart. For you see, their minds are as crass as their purpose for being here. The sheer audacity that any one of them would compare themselves to you when they are willingly wasting their gifts for the sake of entertaining a man who couldn't even bother to remember their names. That's what they don't understand. They are nothing to him. You, though, you have value far beyond anything that they could ever hope to achieve. You have taken great strides to cultivate your power. You give back to the kingdom that provides for you, not take advantage of its generosity. Within you lies a purpose. All they have to offer is just a pretty face and something to be discarded. Do you take issue with that? Well, what is your concern then? You are perfect for what I need you to be, in your abilities and your looks. Yes, your looks are fitting for an apprentice of my service. I can't say the same for anyone else. Ah, yes. Being the one and only apprentice does not leave little room for comparison, I suppose. So, consider yourself the standard to which others must hold themselves up to. Are you fine being seen by staff at the moment, or would you prefer it if I receive your meal on your behalf? Very good then. Come in. Yes. Ah, very good. Now, that will be all. You are dismissed. So, all of this. The warmth should help you ease the stress and better your mood. Better to finish it before it gets cold and avoid having to call in staff to reheat it. It will lose its taste, after all. I know. Quite different than your more mercantile and common life. The palace holds a standard for its cuisine. Dishes would not be served below the highest standard, of course. Well, proper meals lead to proper staff. Well-being is essential, after all. Yes. As stated, you must eat it all unless you make yourself more prone to illness. I will see to it that you do. No. I will have my tea to keep me preoccupied. Staring at someone over a meal is improper, I feel. No. No, that isn't to say this meal will be unproductive. There are lessons to discuss. No. I only need you to ask any questions that you may have. Well, go on. Now, there are a few objectives to go over for your upcoming lessons. That way, when we begin, we can devote the time to more practical applications. You see, for your next lesson, you'll be creating waves alongside a body of water. We will start with a small bowl and work our way up from there. All the wind magic you have, and you will see what it can grow into. I've moved some of the lessons around in your schedule so that we are still completing objectives in the same time frame. No. Normally I wouldn't be against skipping ahead of the elemental interactions, but I thought it would be best to provide you with something less intensive. I would rather you make progress with simple tasks than struggle to concentrate on more complex actions. Mastery can wait until you are at your best. Of course, the schedule is strict in the long term, with what I expect from you by the end of your studies. However, it is up to my discretion how we go about determining the order in which you learn these concepts. No, you don't get away, but there is still work to make up. Simple as it may be, but if you will wish to view it as a break, then by all means. You have worked hard enough to deserve it. And no crass comments can ever change that. Look at me. I thought I made it clear to you that your looks are exactly what they need to be as my apprentice. You are not here to be some decoration for His Highness to gawk at. He will use them as he pleases. The only person you need to look at is me. There is no one else you need to live up to the standards of. Of course. That is how it's always been, and it will stay that way. Your job is only to serve me. There's no point in being under the gaze of other members of the royal family. No, no. They have their own staff to worry about. You are lucky to not be under the service of anyone else. They give little care to those who serve them. Although it is inevitable, but whenever you have more staff, that's the way it is. Since I have fewer under my service, I am able to provide a more personalized care for each of them. At my own discretion, of course. You see, I care much for your well-being. You are a part of my legacy. No. There is no room in history for me when I have no existence to the outside world. The name Zen carries no weight in the line of succession. So, having at least one person remember me when I'm gone is worth treating you well for, at least. Yes. When you come from a line riddled with illness, you have to wonder, how much time do you have left in this world? Either way, I will teach you all that I know while I still can. That is why you must continue to learn, even if it means making exceptions by giving you easier tasks to complete. No. By all means, if you're feeling well enough for lessons today, I will reschedule later in the afternoon then. You can come by my office, and we will proceed from there. But, until then, relax. Finish your breakfast. Understood? Good. Yes. It'll bring back the natural glow you have. Hopefully even more so. I like it whenever I see you enjoy your lessons. Ah, of course. I always notice. Loosen up your arms. They should be in a fixed position. The shaking won't stop with all the tension built up in your muscles. Continue. Don't try again just yet. You're going to send that flying into the wall. This lesson can't be rushed. The more you try to do so, the more time we waste, and the longer we will be here today. Listen. Take a deep breath. Slow down for a moment. Then we can continue. Move your arms around if you need to. Get rid of some of that tension. Yes. Any better? Do you feel any strain? I can have the physician do an examination if you need one. If not, I can call in a fire mage to heat those areas up. Maybe I misjudged where you were in need of your recovery. You've done well with the shorter lessons, but the longer sessions go, the more you seem to stress yourself. If you need some extra time for yourself, we can divide the lesson into 2 or 3 sessions a day instead of 1. Oh. Is there something else you're concerned about then, Well, with the eagerness you seem to have in getting back to your room, I can't help but think that you have priorities other than your lessons. Would you care to share what's on your mind? If it's related to how I conduct the lesson, then feel free to voice your concerns. Otherwise, I won't be able to make necessary adjustments to provide an optimal learning environment for you. If I must, then I could take a more straightforward approach. And I will. Now, we'll start by moving your arms to the correct positions. And now, back straight. Shoulders loosened. Deep breath. It's all right. Now, allow the wind to flow to the center of your hands. No, slow down. There, that's better. Now, we pull the arms back. Let your wrists move freely. A little more. Keep going. Keep it sustained. If you let go while you're shaking like this, it will swerve off in the wrong direction. No, deep breath. Again, let the tension out. A bit too much. We'll have to try again and make sure it doesn't dissipate this time. No. Don't be disheartened. It's all about being comfortable with the technique. Here. Let's try again once more. Position your arms. Move your arm back like this. Why does it feel more tense when I do that? Oh. I see. No. Nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly normal. But it is something for us to work on. There. Being nervous with someone being so close to you could be your downfall in a life or death situation. As a mage in my service, it is your job to help protect our kingdom in any way that is necessary. That may involve combat against enemy forces who would take advantage of our vulnerabilities. You see, spies may infiltrate the palace and get rid of our only source of protection from the sandstorms. Meaning, we as wind mages must not hesitate to fight back, or know how to escape the situation. That involves letting go of your fears so that you may act with a clear mind. However, I will make an exception right now. You are still learning after all. But at some point, I would like you to be more comfortable with my presence. It is very clear that you aren't right now. Otherwise, you would have the same old glow from the previous time, not this new one. Now, why is that, I wonder? You have been always so eager to learn. You make it very clear when you are enjoying yourself. But this is different. Is something else causing a spark within you? You have a chance to answer first. Otherwise, I will do it for you. You never took much notice of how I observe you during your lessons. You have always been preoccupied with how you view yourself and how you have progressed. But now that you have been the subject to the opinions of others, you have become more aware of how others look at you. And in the presence of someone whose job it is for you to live up to the standards of, well, it has become all the more taxing to maintain those standards. But it isn't just that, is it? If it were the case that you feared for your position, I would have seen much more eagerness for you to stay longer and work on any mistakes that you've made. Instead, you seem to rush to leave regardless of how well you've performed. Clearly, the issue is not self-consciousness of skill, so... But there is one other factor I have yet to consider in the sudden change, and that is our little talk we had before. I told you, I've noticed other things during my observations as well. It must be quite jarring to hear such a difference in how others view you. Reassurance in one's attractiveness has a much greater impact after hearing the opposite, especially whenever it comes from someone you are meant to impress. Well, believe me when I say I take no pleasure in knowing such crass words were directed at you. But I must confess that I am pleased with the overall outcome of my efforts to muddy their perception of you. As I've stated time and time again, attractiveness is their only currency. And the less you show to them, the less value they will perceive you to have. Yes, unlike their scantily clad outfits, I do appreciate the thought and care that went into the design of the palace wind mage robes. Their bulk not only challenges the wearer to better their skill, but also deters any wandering eyes. His Highness wastes his blood on many things, but not so much on common folk. There is little pride in taking them as lovers to him. You see, for him in doing so would be no different than a farmhand wedding his cows. And in my lifelong fight against his perceived authority, in his mind, I would not sully my pride, else I concede defeat. More proof to him that I am a failure whose blood holds no value. No. On the contrary, if I am able to get what I want, then he has failed his attempt to reinforce the idea that there are things that I can't have. And to take you away, well, it would mean sullying his own pride with the standards he has set. When all the power you have comes from playing games with the strict rules you've made, you are bound to fall into your own trap and lose. Perhaps. Maybe in his prime he would have considered getting rid of you by a more bloody means. But you are lucky to have been born much later in his life, when he'd already been brainwashed by his new weapon of choice. His days are numbered. He can no longer win this fight, even if he tried. It should be very clear that I've gotten what I wanted. Your actions are proof enough, are they not? No. Rest assured there's no game between us. Only a spark that I am more than willing to kindle. That is what you want, isn't it? Would it put your mind at ease to know that I find your eagerness and inquisitive nature very attractive? There are many who might fit a similar profile, but there is only one who I've seen every day who I've come to understand the vulnerabilities of and shared my own with. To know someone so intimately is special, and that intimacy can go much further. You see, there's nothing to fear. As long as everything is kept the way it is, no one will suspect a thing. Our lips must be sealed, and I will take care of everything else. There's no doubt of our feelings. All that is left is for you to decide whether you wish to act on them or not. Give it some thought, and tell me when you are ready to choose and how you wish to proceed. But time is always of essence for me, but for this, for you, I am willing to wait. Just understand, I do not have the luxury of forever. Blessed is he whose ashes return to the sands and be swept up by wind to roam his kingdom for all eternity. It's honestly such a lovely day. One less insufferable plague upon this earth. The only thing that would make it perfect would be a nice dousing of rain to celebrate the end of the drought. It's just unfortunate that the palace lacks a sense of humor. Those water mages should be put to better use than soaking the ground with their tears. Unfortunately, none of them knew him for who he truly was. All they see is a man blessed with a beautiful face meeting his end, not the rot within. And now they pray for him to watch over the kingdom like those before him, wasting away eternity seeing the filth of their legacy. It would be my greatest pleasure for it to be true. I pray that in his next life, he sees me achieve happiness that he could never hope to have. Regardless of the outcome between us, I have at least passed on much of my knowledge to you. My hope is that you will use it wisely. Yes. For your first official assignment, I would appreciate it if after his ashes are scattered to the wind, you direct them here for me to collect and carry around for all of my most joyous moments. Honestly, that would be rather uncomfortable. Having him intrude on us takes away from our privacy. You see, we may have removed one barrier to a relationship with his passing, but I still have my reservations about our newest predicament. Well, the heir presumptive will discuss the expectations for his reign before the coronation commences. Once the funeral procession is ended, what he sets as a new standard will determine how we proceed. Oh. Well, my main concern is the fervent desire of His late Highness and having him take the throne over one of his own children. His natural prowess in wind magic may be one of the many factors that influence the decision. However, I fear that he may hold similar values regarding the treatment of the other members of the royal family. From what I have seen of him, he holds great promise as a protector of the people. He has always been fond of the common folk. I wouldn't be surprised if he purchased goods from you in the past. Yes. He often brings home trinkets that he found in the market. Maybe we'll be seeing some renovations around the palace in the near future. I, for one, would welcome anything that replaces the gaudy tripe that currently is on display. Kindness to the people is one thing. What he does behind closed doors, well, that reveals his true nature. Especially now that he is to hold more power. Yes, there is much to discuss at the gathering. But I will determine the best course of action to take once I know what to expect from now on. How long? It may last hours. Most of it is nonsense about distribution of assets, upholding old laws and traditions, updates to currency, and introducing his future queen consort. The purpose for most of us being there is to remind us of who the favorites are, as if we didn't know already. As for inheritance, then the heir receives most, if not all, assets belonging to the previous ruler. They are given the right to suggest any changes to law and declare which members of the royal family will have their birthdays celebrated by the public. All currency will be updated to share the face of the current ruler, and it is they who choose who is allowed the luxury of marriage. Marriage is a complex matter in that way. It may involve producing children to carry on the bloodline, the sharing of assets, or both. It always has been strictly limited to the highest of powers that are deemed worthy. In this case, that happens to be the heir, and no one else. Yeah. One could argue that neither His Late Highness or his younger brother were worthy. They were imperfect, as many of us are, but there is little choice when it comes down to no one else to continue the bloodline. Ah, yes. There was a price to pay for them maintaining their youth until death, and that was wasting their lives trying to produce a perfect heir. And unfortunately, their wish was granted. In a way, not having the position of king has released me from the burden of continuing the bloodline. But when you have no choice in the matter, the more aware of it you become, and the more you wish you had it. Though, I believe more than anything, I've wanted someone to share my life with. And I have little choice outside of doing so in secret. I expect little change will be made from the previous rule, so to them we remain employer and employee. Yes. We can discuss how to maintain that image once the meeting is over. Know that there is a choice of whether it really is just an image or not. Think it over. No, stay there. Don't. You can't leave. You have to stay. You have to stay. Please, look at me. Please, don't leave this room. He's not supposed to see you. No, never. He'll take you away. He will take you away. If he sees you, then... No. You don't understand. It's different now. His consort is a commoner. No. Oh, you don't understand. It's just him. I get nothing, and now he can take you away. He made loving a commoner the norm. He could choose anyone as his lover, even you. No. How do we handle this? That is why you have to stay here. Or I'll have you moved to my quarters, or... No, I'll notice. Maybe we can just train here, but you can't... He can never see you. You'd be just like them, wasting away your life as an object for his pleasure. He'll use you, he'll toss you away, he will defile you. I worked so hard. I can't let him have you. I can't let him do this to you. Please, just listen. Listen and stay. No more festivals. Only from your quarters. I understand, I know. I don't want to take away more of your freedom, but it has to be done. Please, don't make me order you. Look, I can make it up to you in some way. If you need more things to entertain yourself with, just say the word, and I will get them to you. And I will do everything in my power to bring the joy of festivities to you. I just need you to cooperate. Because you are all that I have. You are my one chance at living a life I've always wanted, and I cannot lose it. Yes, you still have your choice to make, and the longer it takes, the less time there is to act on it. Look, if you are having any trouble, then let me help you decide. Embrace me. Look at me. Is that enough? Or do you need more? What else would you have me do then? I appreciate the need for honesty, but I'm afraid that there are things you are not meant to know. You see, the more you learn about me, the more I have to take away from you. I have been confined to the palace for this exact reason. My very existence holds dangerous implications for the future of this kingdom. If known by the wrong individuals, having this knowledge means you are never to leave. Else you have your tongue cut out. It is the unfortunate truth. However, that need not apply to you given your circumstances. Who would you have to tell? Where would you go? This is the best life you could ever hope for, is it not? Or would you prefer your old life, living day to day? You wanted honesty, so I'm giving it to you. You see, I was very particular about the person I wanted for this position. Who better than a sweet young lady, down on her luck, who wants a better life, and just so happens to have an affinity for the magic most coveted by the royal family. And to have the common blood to keep those of higher positions away, well, you make for the perfect lover. It's just unfortunate that the heir decided to have a similar preference. No, I would never downplay your abilities like that. The work you have put in cultivating your magic is nothing short of admirable. Trust me, there is no other woman I would rather have standing at my side. But I must present you with a choice, a new one. If you wish to follow through, then it is up to you whether you want to know all there is to know about me. We can still be lovers regardless of whatever you decide. But know that you have much to lose the more that you know. Still, I understand if complete honesty is important to you. For you see, it is a life-changing decision to make. So please, think about it carefully. I will need time to prepare myself in the meantime. Yes. This will be a long and difficult talk for both of us. Come in. Lessons are done for today. You are free to do as you please for the remainder of the day. I hope you realize that. Have you made your decision? And do you understand that by swearing fealty, your life belongs to the crown? And do you accept this? Come this way, then. The standard procedure often takes several minutes to hours depending on the terms through which the subject is expected to follow. Any additional time we need to speak should be accounted for within that time. Please, take a seat here. We can discuss the situation between us first if you prefer. The terms, though, in which you serve me can be left until the end. However, know that there are also conditions you must swear by. Nothing discussed in this room is ever to leave. Is that clear? Well, then tell me, what is your choice? Yes, of course. I can address any concerns you have beforehand. You will be provided for the rest of your life. All that you currently have is guaranteed so long as you continue to serve me. So room and board, entertainment, all your medical needs, they will be taken care of. But you are still confined to the areas I have designated for you. Is that acceptable? Good. Now, how shall we proceed? And once again, you do understand that once I tell you everything, you will be responsible for keeping this information to yourself. If you so much as speak a word of this to anyone, you may be subject to corporal punishment, at worst, execution. I hope you understand. You don't have to bear that responsibility. I will give you all the love that you desire, regardless of your choice. You say that, but I fear you may have second thoughts about sharing your life with me once you know. If that is truly what it takes to love me to the fullest, then so be it. I will be honest with you. I only ask that you listen until the end. Thank you. So, I am the eldest of the current generation of the royal family. His late highness was also the eldest between him and his brother, the father of the current heir. However, despite the line of succession pointing to me as next in line, his late highness made his nephew the heir instead. And that is for one simple reason. I was not born an apt wind mage, and neither was his late highness, his remaining children, nor his brother. The royal bloodline stretches back many, many centuries. Throughout history, it has always been naturally attuned to not wind magic, but time magic. You see, ancient history tells us that our ancestors used their power to halt the sandstorms, to allow for the citizens to seek shelter. Once their safety was ensured, the royal family would speed up time for the storms to pass by in a single instant. This was how they initially gained their position. As the magic is quite powerful, rare, even to this day. But in their attempt to preserve such a rare magic, maintaining their position of power, there was a unfortunate side effect. It has rendered it effectively useless to all of us. And all that remains is our tainted blood. It continues to curse us to this very day. It may have crossed the minds of those in academia that many of the royal bloodline often maintain their youth even in old age. But fortunately, the common folk are more inclined to see it as a gift and proof of our right to the throne. Yes. Your studies are paying off. Disordered time magic is what afflicted his late highness, his brother, and myself. It will be much more noticeable in a few years from now. You will most certainly outgrow me in due time. Maybe at least one of us could find some appreciation in my looks later down the line. You'd make quite a few of your peers jealous if we had the luxury of telling others. Well, hopefully you have some years to enjoy it. Take advantage of it while it still lasts. Unfortunately, much of the time I had spent was searching for you, and as a result, it almost feels like it's too late. Me, I am well past my prime, to say the least. Old enough to remember each and every one of the heirs 36 years with absolute clarity. Tell me, does this bother you? You see, it has always been a fear of mine that it would make you change your mind, but it would have come to light eventually. I mean, best not to be deceiving, else I lose you. You see, when you don't know how much time you have left, the methods you use to get where you want to be, well, they matter little so as long as you get there. After seeing how differently we've all been affected, I've always had my doubts about myself. Yes. Some of the other royal family have been less fortunate than me. Time flows faster for them. You see, they have a lifetime in seconds. And before you know it, well, they're gone. That's why, well, it's been a goal to rid ourselves of it, to start a new bloodline. Wind magic serves its purpose of allowing us to continue protecting the people in the way that time used to. But learning it without a natural prowess, it takes years, which many of us do not have. Naturally, those born with the gift, well, they make for a perfect means of providing the heirs needed to rewrite history. Well, they got what they wanted. The current heir broke the long-standing curse. He is a natural-born wind mage, destined to carry on the new bloodline and leave the rest of us behind. Now, there is no place for us in this new era. We have nothing to provide. You see, I have spent a long time trying to find my purpose here. And every time I look, every time I search, there isn't one. I will always be proud of the accomplishments you've made under my tutelage. It's just unfortunate that I was only allowed to take you so I could shut my mouth and play pretend. You have so much going for you. And it's my fault some of it could end up going to waste. You would have made a wonderful mother. As much as I've fought to have a choice, I don't have one for myself. So I'm afraid I don't have one to give you either. Would you still love me? even after knowing all that my lineage deals with. Well, with children out of the question, I at the very least desire companionship. I wish to be able to experience what any heir would, even if in the end it is all pretend. What I feel for you is very real, but it will never be in the eyes of those in power. Tell me, what is it that you feel? I suppose I should have expected as much. Love that is not meant to be already limits what we can and cannot do. That is for me to worry about, but I can make opportunities for us, just like now. So, let us take the chance right now. With whatever time I may have, whatever opportunities that we have in this given moment. Come here. Look at me. Do you vow to keep this between us? Do you vow to live your life in service to our kingdom? And do you vow that you will love me for the rest of your days? Then please, swear upon my name you will. No titles, just my name. Once more. Now, just for me this time. Thank you. Thank you for making this